A Como-Mida Curtain Call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. Two Coffees Please production company is presenting Yasmina Reza's Tony and Olivier Award-winning comedy Art, with translation by Christopher Hampton at ProArts Playhouse for only 4 more performances, Thursday to Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 5 p.m. Serge, Jason Strahn, has purchased an early minimalist painting from a well-known, to those in the know, artist for 200,000 euros, approximately $220,000. He proudly shares his purchase with his best friend Mark, Brian Connolly, who doesn't appreciate it, insults him, and suggests his best friend has been swindled royally. Mark tries to enlist their other friend, Ivan, Scott McLelland, in his disdain for the work, but Ivan, who is a diplomat, has an enjoyable viewing which endears him more to Serge. When Mark finds out about this positive encounter, he realizes his faux pas and tries to smooth things over with Serge, but Serge sees through his facade, and this drives a further wedge between them. The three go at it, and you will need to see this hilarious, touching, poignant exploration of friendship portrayed by these 3 virtuoso actors to find out how this all comes out. Mr. Connolly is the Aaron Judge of our actors. He hits it out of the park. His mark is a nuanced characterization of a man who thinks he is doing a favor for a friend, but soon realizes his own personality defects could be the source of the problems. It is an MVP performance. Mr. Strahn hasn't been on stage for 10 years according to his bio, and you would never know it. His timing, ability to hold the audience, clarity of both language and purpose made Serge, the divorced dermatologist, an effective, memorable character. Mr. McLelland has a show-stopping, tour-de-force solo turn you have to see. Delivered with the speed and virtuosity of a Vince Esquire break, this moment brings the house down. Yvonne is the most sympathetic character in the show, and Mr. McLelland plumbs the depths of his emotional treasure chest to bring this sensitive, fraught, caring character to the stage. This play causes one to examine the value of truth in relationships, the essence of friendships, and the who of one's identity. It also delves into the role of visual art in our lives and challenges us to examine what art is, and it does so with thought-provoking humor, pathos, and drama. 2 lines stuck out with me. Yvonne says, quote, "I can no longer bear any kind of rational argument. Nothing formative in the world, nothing great or beautiful in the world has ever been born of a rational argument," unquote. And Mark's line about the painting, quote, "It represents a man who moves across a space and disappears," unquote. There is one other that Yvonne says, but I won't share it. Go hear it for yourself. You'll know when it comes. Mr. Connolly is not only one of the stars, but he also produced, directed, and designed the set and lights. Well done. Mahalo nui loa. Art runs Thursday to Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 5. Go to proartsmaui.org for tickets and information. One caveat, leave the kiddies home. It's not a kids show. Be prepared for many F-bombs. However, that said, this is what we go to theater for. Don't miss it. Maui Academy of Performing Arts Living Room Theater Series is presenting Tim Firth's theatrical adaptation of his and Juliet Tohidi's Miramax motion picture Calendar Girls, directed by Sally Sefton. Calendar Girls is a British play based on a true story about a group of women who got together and did a nude calendar to raise money for a leukemia research fund. It premiered at the Chichester Festival Theatre and then moved to the West End, where it broke all British records for a professional and amateur play and was nominated for an Olivier and won What's on Stage Best Comedy Award. It is yet to transfer to Broadway, has been and is being performed throughout the U.S. Annie Clark, Annie Wilder, is suffering dealing with her husband John Lou Young's leukemia diagnosis and treatment. Her best friend, Chris Harper, Kathleen Schills, devises a plan to raise money for a new settee in the hospital waiting room. She convinces Annie, and they manage to persuade 4 fellow Women's Institute members, Cora Elizabeth Fellows, the church organist and minister's daughter, Celia Beth Daigle King, a style-conscious golfer, Ruth, Barbara Sedano, an emotionally abused woman trying to find her confidence, and Jessie, Peggy Harmon, a retired teacher, to pose nude with them for what has to be, quote, an alternative calendar, because the chair of the 100-Year-Old Institute, which was part of a women's suffrage movement, Marie Vicky Conmee, won't hear of such an outrage. They get a little help from hospital porter and amateur photographer Lawrence, Matt Connolly. The news of the women's charitable venture spreads like wildfire, and hordes of press soon descend on the small village of Connolly in Yorkshire Dales. The calendar is a success, but Chris and Annie's friendship is put to the test under the strain of their newfound fame. This play takes a subject many have been touched by, grief, loss, and cancer, and gives it a lighthearted treatment without ignoring the seriousness of the issue. Ms. Schultz and Ms. Wilder display the true connection of friendship, a theme for both plays, and how it can be strained. Ms. Schultz, Chris, is powerful, charismatic, and a real leader. Ms. Wilder's Annie is such a touching, heartfelt character we love and totally sympathize with. Dr. King has an EDD and has been a lifelong educator for the hearing impaired, for whom this is unbelievably her Maui theatrical debut. Creates a confident square peg in a round hole Celia, who knows how to employ all of her considerable assets and is thoroughly enjoying every moment. Miss Sedano has wonderful, truthful moments, but when it comes to comedy, there are few on this island who can match her sense of timing. Her handling of the misunderstanding around her rabbit costume was among the high points of humor in this show. Ms. Harmon showed a side of her we seldom see. Her Jessie was a no-nonsense, plain Jane woman who one suspect was a great teacher with a mischievous streak. Miss Fellows Cora has some lovely musical moments. Mr. Young's John was totally endearing in every way, and the chemistry between he and Ms. Wilder was palpable and marvelous to behold. James Morrison played Chris's doting, devoted husband, Rod. When he presented her with his surprise gift, it was a marvelous moment. As Lady Cravenshire and Elaine, Janice Toth is also making an auspicious theatrical debut. Matt Fennelly's Liam and Lawrence were absolutely believable, especially his Lawrence, who directs the photo shoot. Just great. Finally, Virginia Sandel's Brenda brought her usual quirky character, and she was fun lecturing about broccoli. This is a complex story with uncliched characters dealing with a difficult issue in a palatable, respectful, yet humorous way. Kudos to Ms. Sefton. How Kathleen Schulz played the part and did the bazillion costumes with the help of the cast is a tribute to this woman's outstanding talent and skill. She is a true blessing. At the conclusion of Saturday night's sold-out house, the audience stood and cheered what they had just spent 2 hours and 35 minutes with a 15-minute intermission observing. They loved it. Calendar Girls continues Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and Sundays at 3 p.m. until October 27th. Due to popular demand, they have added a matinee this Saturday, the 19th, at 2 p.m. Incidentally, in a pre-play speech, a Maui tradition I detest, the board president, Dr. Virgie Cantora, revealed the need for $1.2 million additional dollars needed to complete the Naylor Family Theater. While it wouldn't raise the needed amount, with holidays coming and the new year upon us, it seems they missed an opportunity by not printing calendars and selling them to the patrons. I am certain everyone there would have bought at least one, and probably more, because what a great gift. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Maui strong. Ahui ho.